Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks console video. So in this video, I'm going to be helping you decide what monster tank that you want from the Monster Hunter Challenge. Also must mention that you can only pick one. As soon as you pick one tank, the op ends. So there's 10 tanks that you can choose from. The Lycan, the Revenant, and Kaiju are at stage 4. The Gornage, Holland, hound, and Dragon are at stage 8. The Ballcourt, Wraith, Inferno, and Ballcourt are at stage 11. I'm also going to be, so there's 10 tanks in total. Going to be having them as a list from 1 to 10. And it's going to be listed by their win ratio. Also, there'll be other stuff in there. So this will be like a really good thing of how to know which tank you want. So let's just get into it. So number 10 is the Ballcourt. It is actually the worst performing tank of this entire list. It has a win ratio of 49.10%. I also do have to mention this is a tier 8 premium heavy tank that is preferential, which means that you cannot meet tier 10s during +2, -2. And during +1, -1, you are always top tier, and this is actually a stage 11 tank. So basically, the Ballcourt has amazing frontal armor and amazing turret armor. Its frontal armor at the front is 240-260 millimeters unangled, which is pretty nice. Also, the Ballcourt actually earns one of the highest silvers in World War II at 67% silver base. And what else? Slow reload? The Ballcourt is pretty much all about the armor and making silver. That's pretty much what it is. Armor, making silver, and not meeting tier 10s. So yeah. So number 9 is the Dragon. It has a 49.34% win ratio. And it's also at stage 8. This is a tier 7 Chinese light tank. So this is actually, there's 3 light tanks on the list, and this is actually in my opinion, this is the worst one. So the Dragon actually has a okay gun. It has an 85mm gun. Its silver boost for tier 7 is actually decent at 40% silver boost. Its view range is pretty nice at 390. So it also has a max speed of 60, which is actually slower than the Lycan, believe it or not. So this tank is kind of hard to play. It plays more as a passive scout than anything. It's not going to hit hard, and it's not really going to rip apart enemy tanks. Basically, you're just a passive scout in the Dragon, and you do have the gun that has decent penetration at 145 on standard and 220 on its premium. So that's the Dragon. So the next tank is actually at number 8 is the Holland Hound, the tier 8 German light tank at a 49.4% win ratio. So this little light tank, a lot of people absolutely adore this light tank. I'm like, no, the Brazilian's better, but I'm going to exclude that from my opinion for now. So this tank actually gets HEP rounds. HEP rounds are pretty much HESH rounds, but for German, they call them HEP. So yeah, it has a pretty decent good gun at the alpha's 240. Its HEP rounds have 102mm of penetration that does 320 damage. Basically, you can pretty much farm in this tank. Has a really good DPM, especially if you load your HEP. Its view range is 410. Its max speed is 72.4. And yeah, its standard penetration is 182. Its premium penetration is 250. And its silver boost is 40%. And it actually has a crew boost at 50%. So it's pretty decent training crews. So this tank is more, it can either play the scout role or the passive scout. So it's a nice tank all around. I have to give it to you. It is a nice tank. But I still like the Brazilian better. So at number 7 is actually the Crass Panther Revenant. This is a tier 7 medium tank. And you get this at what? You get this at stage 4. Also, forgot to mention, you get the Holland hound at stage 8. Now, the revenant is a Crass. It's basically a panther. It's has a good gun. The playstyle of this tank is more as a support tank and much more as a sniper. I've not played this tank in over a year. It has terrible view range at 360. It has decent armor because it's a panther. Its silver earn rate is 56%, so that's really nice. Its speed is 55, but its horsepower is at 16.33, so it can get up to its horsepower top speed. The revenant is more like a sniper and slash support tank. It is a medium tank, but it plays better as a sniper. Plays more like a TD than a medium tank. So, number 6 is actually my favorite light tank. One of my favorite light tanks, which is the tier 7 Lycan. Has a 49.94% win ratio. Forgot to say the revenant has a 49.85, and the Holland Hound has a 49.4 win ratio. So the Lycan is a tier 7 light tank. It's American. Also, it's a 6-round shot autoloader. It has a really nice gun. Does 150 damage per shot. Its inner clip reload is not that long. It doesn't tell me on the Tankopedia. Thanks, Tankopedia. Thanks for being so helpful. Its max speed is 64.4. It has a really good view range at 400. And silver bonus is at 20%. XP bonus is 25%. View range is 400. Raise to that. Still concealment is okay at 0.28. The Lycan is pretty much a light tank. It's a light tank. Yeah, that's obvious. So you can either play it as a passive or an active scout. It works better more as a passive scout. And you can always go in with your 6-round autoloader because you are autoloader and your inner clip reload is not that long. You can actually go in and clip out other tanks or clip out tanks that are almost dead. Use your speed, get around them, get to their side. But your nice penetration, 175 at your standard and 210 on your premium. Premium and seat rounds and standard is APCR. Now let's move on to the next tank. Now this is a tank that you don't see much. This is the Wraith Panther. Not Wraith Panther. This is the Wraith Panzer 58 months. There we go. Now this is just like the Panzer 58 months, but it has space armor. Has more armor. And you get this at stage 11. Also, it has a 50.03% win ratio. This tank is more like a sniper. It's a more passive sniper. It's more... Okay, let me say this. It's more aggressive. It plays a lot like the Crass Panther. But smaller tank and actually has better gun depression at 10 degrees, which is really nice. The alpha is 240, penetration is 212, its premium penetration is 259, silver bonus is 50%, and XP boost is a 15. Speed range is 380, which is, it's okay. Max speed is 44. So, yeah. It gets a 90mm gun. Let's move on to the next tank, which is the Gornage. In 4th place with a 51.15% win ratio. And you'll get this at stage 8. Also, this is a tier 8 heavy tank for Soviet. Also, it's the other preferential tank on the list. So that means you won't meet tier 10s and plus 2 minus 2. And you will always be top tier during +1 -1. So, cool. What else about the Gornage? Gornage, it's all about the armor. Side scraping. Hiding your weak points. It has a really good gun for DPM. Penetration's pretty liking. I just did a video on this tank also. And yeah, its Gornage is all about the armor, and it's all about ramming. This tank is like 102 tons. It's one of the heaviest tanks in the game. Really good at ramming, and it's just a tank that just loves to bounce shots, but you just gotta hide its weak points. So the silver boost is 50%, and the XP boost is 15. And top speed is 40. Has a horsepower per ton of 11.98. If you put the powertrain on it, it gets up to its top speed pretty nicely. Alright, so the next tank is at number 3 is the Ballcourt. It's at a 52.76% win ratio, and it's a tier 8 British medium tank. It's one of 2 British medium tanks on this list. The other one's the Inferno. We're gonna get to that in a second. But this is a Centurion 5-1 with more space armor. So if you like Centurions, definitely get the Ballcourt because it's a Centurion 5-1, which has pretty good hull armor, plus a whole bunch of space armor on the turret, so your turret actually gets really good armor. And also has space armor on the hull, so you're just a better armored Centurion 5-1. And it's amazing. Why play the Centurion 5-1 if you could play the Ballcourt? My exact point. Don't really have to go over any detail if you like Centurions. Silver boost is at 50%. XP boost is at 15. Hit points is 1400. Yeah. Centurion with armor. A lot of armor. Just made a video on this. Go watch it. So, number 2 is the Inferno, which you can earn at stage 11. Also, you can earn the Ballcourt at stage 11. So, this is a tier 8 British medium tank. It's better than the Chimera because it has more space armor. It has more armor than the Chimera, which is the unskinned variant without the space armor. So, the Chimera actually has one of the highest alpha damages on a medium tank at tier 8 at 440. Reloaded slow is pretty inaccurate, but it's all about the alpha damage at 440. Also, the mobility on this tank is really fantastic. Its horsepower per ton is 15.76. Your armor actually holds up if you can. Your whole armor actually holds up if you can side scrape. And it's a really nice tank. It's a powerful tank. It's fun. It's powerful in both modes. And it's a fun tank to play. Definitely would get the... If you like your Chimera, get the Inferno. Because Inferno is just 10 times better. Because it actually has turret armor. Because of the space armor. So, yeah. It's a very mobile, medium tank. That's high alpha, but inaccurate gun. But actually has really good armor. So, yeah, that's your Inferno. So, the number 1 spot is the Kaiju at a 53.06 win ratio. Now, the Kaiju is a tier 6 Japanese heavy tank. And this is available at stage 4, which you get this very early. So, the Kaiju, what do I have to say? It's pretty much like the awhile, the tier 6 Japanese heavy tank. Also, I do have to mention, when the Type 5 line got buffed, the only tank that did not get buffed in that entire line was the OI, because it was too good to get buffed. Fun fact, and this is pretty much a copy of the OI. That's saying a lot, actually. So, Kaiju, slow heavy tank. It's a pretty slow heavy tank. Yeah, it goes at 29.4 horsepower per ton. It's a 7.98. It's slow. It does 300 damage per shot, but it has the armor to last. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing because it's free and it helps the channel a ton. And you can always unsubscribe if you ever want to. Anyway, that's it for this video. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Also, remember to fish because we're always done. And peace out.